The world has slowly turned off its lights. The noisy hum of the streets has faded into a distant murmur, replaced by the deep, comforting quiet of the night embracing the earth. After a long, perhaps exhausting day, filled with endless obligations and a racing mind, let us give ourselves a little space to finally rest. Tonight, there is nothing you need to chase. There are no checklists that demand your attention at this very second. You are safe here, in this warm and quiet space. Let us walk slowly alongside a simple thought, a story about who we truly are, drifting from pages that have reminded so many of a gentle hope. Tonight, we will softly lay down the heavy burden we often carry on our shoulders. The burden that insists the world is harsh and that humans are cold by nature. We are going to listen to a truth that is much softer, much warmer, and much more real. Take a deep breath in. Feel the cool air fill your chest and exhale slowly. Let us begin this quiet journey. Have you ever imagined a faraway island, encircled by soft white sands and waves whispering against the shore? Imagine a group of young boys stranded there, far from home, with no adults to guide them. For years, we have been told frightening tales about this scenario. Tales whispering that without rules, without watchful eyes, we would turn on one another, lose our way, and all the civilization we've built would crumble into chaos. These stories murmur that behind the friendly smiles we see, every day there lies a wild, untamed nature just waiting for the right moment to break free. But what if that story was never real? Decades ago, on a truly isolated island, a group of boys was genuinely stranded for over a year, and in the profound silence of that island, no chaos unfolded. There was no hostility. Under the starry sky, those children held hands. They shared their meager food fairly. When one of them was hurt, they tended to him with utmost tenderness until he healed. They kept their campfire burning to stay warm, taking turns in quiet companionship, and found ways to resolve their little disagreements peacefully. When a rescue ship finally arrived, they didn't find wild beings. They found affectionate, gentle children who proved that true goodness does not require binding rules. It flows naturally from within the human chest. For centuries, the world may have convinced us of an illusion, a shadow suggesting that civilization is merely a thin layer, like a delicate sheet of ice over a frozen lake, hiding our deep selfishness. Old tales from past thinkers called us wolves to one another. The glowing screens in our living rooms constantly echo fear, highlighting the dark corners of the world until we begin to suspect our own shadows and the people standing right next to us. There are even old stories of dark experiments inside windowless rooms, seemingly proving that humans easily turn cruel when given power or commanded. But when those pages were gently turned and the truth brought to light, it was found to be nothing more than a play, a staged theater where kindness was suppressed and fear was forced upon the actors. When people were truly faced with the choice to hurt another, the voice inside their hearts resisted. There was hesitation, regret, and refusal, Because harming another is deeply against the song our souls are meant to sing. Let us reflect for a moment on how we were born into this world. We are not creatures made to conquer each other in the cold. Of all the beings on this earth, our true uniqueness lies not just in our intellect or our tools, but in the softness of our hearts. We are creatures designed for friendship. In the long journey of human history, it was not the most ruthless who survived. No, it was the friendliest. The ones who shared the warmth of the campfire, the ones who soothed a crying infant together, and the ones who built trust. We evolved through embraces, through smiles shared with strangers across a valley, and through gentle cooperation. Look closely at a baby just learning to see the world. Without ever being taught, those small eyes will seek out ours. Their little lips will curve into a smile. Their tiny hands naturally want to help, pointing at things to share a moment of wonder without ever asking for a reward. That is your original nature. That is the essence of who we are before the world whispers its fears into our ears. Why then does the world often feel so daunting? Our minds are always on guard, protecting us from danger, just like our ancestors who had to keep watch in the dark. In our modern times, this alertness is often fed by the alarming stories from glowing screens. Bad news always speaks louder, drowning out the millions of quiet, beautiful acts of kindness that happen every single second across the globe. Someone holding a door open for a stranger, a neighbor lending a blanket, a friend offering a listening ear. These kindnesses happen silently, like the morning dew that cools the earth without ever demanding attention. When we believe that humans are fundamentally selfish, we build walls. We lock our doors tight. We create rules that suffocate, and we look at others with suspicious eyes. Those walls leave us out in the cold. But when we believe in goodness, like in gardens of learning where children are trusted to find their own passions, or places where adults are given the space to care for others with love rather than surveillance, the flowers of empathy bloom. Work becomes meaningful, learning becomes a joy, and life feels so much lighter. Have you ever noticed what happens when a great trial arrives? When the earth shakes or the storms roll in, we are often taught to fear the ensuing chaos. Yet in those most fragile moments, selfishness is not what emerges. Boundaries dissolve. Strangers hold each other tight. They share their last piece of bread, search for the lost in the pouring rain, and find the deepest meaning precisely when they have to lean on one another. In the darkest of times, humanity always ignites its brightest light. Choosing to see this goodness is not naivety. On the contrary, it is the bravest form of realism. It is the decision to open our eyes wide and see the world exactly as it is. A world where, most of the time, in most places, the vast majority of people simply want to live a good life, love their families, and do the right thing. Perhaps, on this quiet night, beneath the blanket that warms your body, we can ask ourselves, what kind of lens have we been using to view the world? Have we often looked at strangers with unfounded suspicion? And most importantly, Have we been too hard on ourselves? Whenever we feel exhausted by the world, maybe we just need to remember that goodness is still there, that the person passing by us on the street, who might look rushed, carries the same quiet burdens and gentle hopes as we do. They want peace too. They need warmth too. When someone makes a mistake, perhaps it is not because they have a bad heart, but simply because they are tired, afraid, or a little lost. Facing the world with trust does not mean we will never be hurt, but it frees us from the exhausting prison of cynicism. The most comforting truth of all is this: you are made of kindness. We are all part of a beautiful tapestry woven from friendliness and care. And now, as the night grows deeper and more silent, the darkness gently embraces the natural world. There is nothing left to solve tonight. There is nothing to prove to anyone, least of all to yourself. Let go of all the doubts. Let the muscles in your face soften. Let your shoulders drop, releasing all the tension of the day. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the peace flowing in with every exhale. And let this simple wisdom keep you company as you drift to sleep tonight. Knowing that tomorrow, the sun will rise on a world fundamentally filled with good souls. Just like you, rest well. Good night.